Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do another skincare video. Today is going to be all about my experience with like skin reactions, whether it is, you know, from a food or from a product, or you know, you get these tiny little bumps come up on your face and you don't know what to do about them, and also like cystic breakouts, hormonal shifts, and even if you just have a random burst of acne. I'm going to be talking about all the things that I do to treat all these scenarios. So anyway, if you're interested in this video, then keep on watching. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button and join the family. Okay, so firstly I want to start off with those tiny little bumps. This is actually something that can be the bane of my life. So for me personally, I have experienced getting little bumps either on my forehead or between my brows and on my cheeks. Nowadays I don't get them as much on my forehead. If I eat something basically that isn't agreeing with my body, I usually see the little bumps between my eyebrows. If I get loads of little bumps on my cheeks, that is usually an indicator for me that I've either had far too much sugar. I really see my skin react quite quickly with sugar, and also if I've had yeast. Yeast is a big problem for my body, and so yeah, I really try and limit it and cut it out as much as I possibly can. So yeah, that is when I start to see the tiny little bumps on my face. Now something you want to differentiate is tiny little bumps that could be due to like a reaction response, and tiny little bumps which are like clogged pores and blackheads and things like that. They actually are, to be honest, two different things. Now the way I tell the difference between the two is if I get a magnifying glass, I find that if it's a congested pore or a blackhead, if you get a magnifying glass and you get the right light, you can actually see a little like dark dot, and that would indicate to me that it's either a blocked pore or, you know, a blackhead or something. And also if you can see that the bump actually is basically like a little mini whitehead in a sense, like if it's actually congested. But if it's just these tiny little bumps that kind of just show up in light and they're not really like spots and like poppable, like nothing really comes out of them, then that is really an indication of more of a reaction. Now these bumps, the best thing to do is don't freak out and start putting loads of like exfoliating products on, because trust me, that's not how these bumps are going to go. These bumps are due to like a food response, say, or even like a product. Sometimes cosmetics can give you this kind of reaction. What I personally do is I think back to what have I eaten, you know, what have I, you know, touched in that sense. Have I tried new products as well? Just try and think back about 24 hours and see what's been going on, and then just focus on, you know, good diet, and just focus on, you know, bring yourself back to balance, keep the skincare going, keep it gentle, and those bumps will go down. So you don't need to start getting out your strong exfoliators and putting that all on your face, because that actually will then cause more of a problem, because your skin's already quite sensitive from a reaction, and then you're just, you know, putting some strong ingredients on it, and it's just going to freak out more, and then you'll get yourself in like another state. Now if this is something that you constantly have, then I really recommend looking into maybe just doing like a food allergy test or something, because you could be just having a response to something and that is what's causing these bumps. Like I've said this loads of times in my videos, I used to get so many bumps on my forehead, and this was before I had my food allergy test, and after like doctors and all that kind of stuff, I found out I had an allergy to wheat, and as soon as I cut it out of my diet, I've not had the bumps on my forehead since. So I really do recommend that if this is a constant thing and it just doesn't seem to ever really go down. And then another thing I do is if I do feel like it's diet related, then I actually do a lot more liver support. So I'll just make sure I take maybe some milk thistle or dandelion drops, like, you know, the tincture drops, and just support my liver function, and drink loads and loads of water, because, you know, just to help my body flush through basically, you know, whatever's going on inside, and just calm my body down. Now if you are looking at these bumps and you do think they're blackheads or clogged pores, and I have got a video actually on how to get rid of tiny bumps, so I'll leave it listed down below or in a card. I do actually want to do an updated one though, so keep your eyes peeled for that, because that is going to come. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is redness. Now I've experienced this actually quite recently. I used a face mask not too long ago. It wasn't even that strong, but I used it, and I even put it on I think for half the amount of time that you're meant to. When I took it off, my face looked like I'd been sunburned. I'm going to put a picture. It's very attractive, guys, but I'm going to put this up close and personal picture here so you can actually see. I mean, the lighting's not the greatest, but I think you can kind of make out that my face is red. So this is actually an ice pack, and it's, I got it from Tiger. It was really cheap, but I think you put it on your neck. But the reason why I got this one is because it's quite big. People could have different views on this, whether you should put ice, whatever, but personally I find this so effective. I take this ice pack and I literally just hold it around my face. I would put like a muslin cloth on top of it so it's not so like direct contact, but I would just literally hold that on my skin and the redness reduces so much. So I'm talking to you guys, if you ever have like a product reaction, you get this kind of redness. But it's definitely something that I really do recommend. I find it really does work. So another thing I did when I had this redness is that not only did I ice my face, I then just went on with my normal skincare routine and I just used a gentle moisturizer. I personally wouldn't start putting on your serums and all your high potency stuff if your face has had this kind of reaction. I would just go for a gentle soothing moisturizer, keep it simple, pop that on your face and just go to bed. And when I woke up the next day, the redness had completely gone. Also not a night to try anything else new. So if you're planning on trying a new like product, don't. Just go back to what you know works. So next I want to talk about a reaction which is kind of a little bit more of a sensation, and I don't know if you've ever had this where you've washed your face and your skin just feels really dry and rough. See it as a signal that my skin's saying, you know what, hold up, like you're overpowering me a little bit here. Whenever I feel dryness and that kind of texture on my skin, I think, you know, my skin doesn't feel happy. So firstly, I would think about the products I am using. Have I put anything new into my routine, upsetting my skin a bit? That's the first thing I would be thinking. If not, then what I go for is I go for an oil cleanse. I love hemp oil. It is literally my like one of my holy grail skincare products. I have a video using it and I'll link that in case you want to see me like using it in action. But hemp oil is a 0 on the comedogenic scale, so it shouldn't break you out. If it does break you out, then it's either two things. One, you either are allergic to it, or I don't think you're removing it properly. Oil can be quite, you know, it really does stick to the skin. It can be quite thick, so I always remove mine with a warm muslin cloth, or like a, you know, like a microfiber cloth, and just make sure it's all off. But the reason why I'm talking about oil cleansing is because if my skin is very rough and dry and just kind of feels like a not very nice texture, I feel like oil is just, it just tackles it perfectly. It nourishes my skin, it really soothes the skin as well, and also hemp oil especially is very healing. There's so many different benefits for hemp oil. Like I really did notice such a huge improvement in my skin from using hemp oil, and also I love it because a lot of you guys comment saying that it like changed your skin, so that's really great to hear. But yeah, I really love it. And also when you massage it into the skin, I kind of feel my skin, it's kind of like it's getting happier with me the more I massage it in. And also like you find if you have got little like rough bits, you can kind of feel them kind of buffing away gently, but really gently, like because there's nothing abrasive on your hands. So now the next thing I want to talk about is those random cystic breakouts, and this is something that I get every so often. Like I actually get, sometimes I get like the random one like on my temple or something. Some of you guys watching this, you might experience it on your jawlines. If you have a lot of hormonal acne, it's very common to get, you know, cystic acne here. But I'm talking about if you just kind of get the random one-off cystic breakout, then the first thing I would do is think about what time of the month it is. Think, you know, where are you in your cycle, and also make a note of it, because that's really good to keep a track of. The next thing I actually do is I always look at a Chinese face map. I just go up on Google, grab one up and see whereabouts that cystic breakout has come out, because sometimes, yeah, okay, it could be hormonal, but sometimes like it might come up in an area and it might, you know, on the Chinese face map say, okay, that's linked to, I don't know, your intestines or something like that. And then I might think to myself, do you know what, actually I've noticed maybe my digestion hasn't been very good the last couple of days. So then I would put my attention there. Or if, you know, it comes up on a place where it's like to the kidneys or something, then, you know, you can put your attention on that and support that organ. So I do find that really helpful. With a cystic breakout, it can feel like there's like 10 times more than there actually is on your face, because a cystic breakout can be so tender and so like, even if you're talking, you can kind of feel it on your face. And I feel like when you wash your face, it feels worse than it is. So all I can say is just calm down, don't worry, like it will subside. With cystic breakouts as well, these aren't the kind of spots you want to start prodding at, because these are the ones that can cause the damage and cause a bit of scarring if you do it wrong. Because with a cystic breakout, it's very under the skin, like you aren't going to get anything out of it, so stop trying to squeeze it. I love frankincense oil. I'll put a little bit of frankincense oil on it and it really helps soothe it and calm it down. But most of all, I just leave it, let it do its thing. If it's going to turn into like a whitehead and, you know, a spot that you could pop, you need to wait until it's fully formed, fully developed and ready to go. Because if you try squeezing it, okay, you might get a little bit of something out, but then what usually happens is that this clear liquid comes out, and that's the indication that there's still infection there. So it's just going to turn into another another spot. It's going to create more of a mess. And then obviously cystic breakouts are linked to hormonal shifts, so just, you know that maybe there's something hormonal going on inside. So I would just also focus on, you know, your diet to help hormonal balance, just your day-to-day life. Think about all the things that you can do just to maybe help your hormones out a little bit. Okay, and then the last one I want to talk about is if you just get a random acne breakout. This can be a reaction. This is still in this category because some of us, you know, have our skin okay. Like at the minute my skin's doing pretty good, but you know, next week I could suddenly have an outbreak of breakouts. It could be to do with hormones, it could be due to something else, you don't know. First thing I do is I love to do a face mask. In a recent vlog, like literally like 2 videos ago, I did this for the first time and now I am addicted. Like me and my boyfriend literally have face mask night now every Wednesday and Sunday, and he was the one who suggested it. I'm very happy about that. I feel like I'm rubbing off on him. But anyway, this face mask I did in that vlog, I'm obsessed with. It is bentonite clay, which you just get pure. I just think I got mine in a health food store. I mix it with some honey, a bit of frankincense oil, like 3 drops, and then water. Mix it all up, put it on my skin, and oh my god, I'm just obsessed. It is so good for like drawing out toxins and impurities out of my skin. The honey I find really soothing because bentonite clay could be very drying, so the honey kind of, you know, stops that from happening on my skin, so it can be really gentle if you don't want anything too like hard and intense. Frankincense oil, amazing anti-inflammatory, amazing for breakout, really calms down whatever's going on in the skin. That's pretty much the face mask. Simple, easy, you know, every single ingredient in it, and it's, you know, really low risk for having any kind of reaction and making things worse. When it comes to skincare, I keep my skincare exactly the same. I do not change anything. I do not add anything in, take anything out. I keep everything the same because I know that skincare works when my skin is at its clearest, so I just keep the routine going. What I focus on is a lot more lifestyle things, so I just focus on my diet, making sure that, you know, I am eating well, trying to cook as much as I can at home, just, you know, loads of water. I drink a shed ton of spearmint tea. You know me, just really focusing on good whole foods. I eat very plant-based and just foods that are going to nourish my skin. The best thing to do is just accept it and don't panic, because the worst thing you can do in times like that is panic and just start, you know, trying to get all this acne fighting stuff to put it on your skin to get rid of it, because usually your body's just having some kind of response and you just got to go with it, work with it, support it, and it will subside. Sometimes when you have a reaction, whether it's like a breakout or whatever, like if you start piling on loads of the anti like acne stuff, sometimes it's kind of like putting fire on fire, and it can make your skin get a bit more angry, and then, you know, it then turns into a whole other problem. And I said that a lot in this video, so ooh, it's kind of gone a bit dark. What's going on with the lighting? But yeah, that's just kind of my advice, and that's how I treat an acne breakout really. Lately as well, I've been really getting into exfoliation, and that is actually going to be one of my videos next coming up. I'm not going to talk about it now because I really want to do a dedicated video on it. Exfoliation has been like one of the things that has really changed my skin recently, and it's not about just exfoliation, it's the do's and don'ts. I've really learned what to do and what not to do when it comes to exfoliation, but that whole topic's more on like how to maintain clear skin, so that's why I'm not really putting it in this video. That is coming up, so if you're interested to see that video, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I really can't wait to share that one with you and talk to you guys about it. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. But hopefully me sharing my experiences and what works for me is going to help you guys if you ever come across these scenarios. I really hope you don't. I really don't wish any of this on anybody. But yeah, it's just life. These things happen, and the best thing to do is just let it be, calm down, and don't panic. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already. Thank you so much for watching, and please give this video a thumbs up because it helps out my channel so much. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.